Hi everyone, so I'm doing the How Do You Read a Book tag, which was originally created by the Hungry Bookworm, but I originally saw it on the Book Invasion channel, which is Scott, and I was like, I need to do this tag. So I wasn't tagged by anybody, but I'm going to do it anyways because I enjoyed the questions. So the first question is, how do you go into reading a book? This varies. There are times where I go into a book completely blind. I particularly like doing this with thrillers. And there are other times where I've read a lot of reviews, so I've kind of narrowed down that this is probably a book I'm going to like. And sometimes I'm going into a book with just knowing the premise, so this vastly changes. Do you take a book at its face value? Specifically, this is talking about a cover. So do you look at the cover and expect what's on the cover or something else? Well, let's be honest. Yes, I do take into consideration the covers. If I'm buying a book and it's been something like a classic or a modern classic in which there's multiple editions of it, I would choose the one that I think is the prettiest. Or if I'm at a thrift store, it's probably whatever's cheapest. But yes, do I consider the cover? Absolutely, if there's multiple ones in general. Do I have expectations of a book because of the vibe the cover gives out? Sometimes, but not always, because I realize that the covers really are marketing for a book. And so they're trying to find their chosen demographic, and a lot of times they're capturing what's popular in cover designs at the moment. And so that might not accurately reflect the book. That being said, for example, this book, yeah, I go into thinking it's going to have spooky vibes because of the cover. I picked it up because of the cover, but I didn't buy it because of the cover. It's what initially drew me to the book. I then bought it because of what was on the back of the book. But would I have read the back of the book if the cover didn't draw me in? Probably not. Now, if I hear really good things about a book and I don't like the cover, in all honesty, I'm probably going to pick up the book anyways and read it. So yes, the cover affects things, but it more affects my book buying process and less of what I expect out of a book, unless the cover matches the back of the book. Now, that being said, the back of the book and the front flap can even be misleading sometimes. Like, they over-promise and under-deliver, and sometimes I'm like, publishers, why are you doing that to the poor author? But I also do, like, covers like these are like works of art, and I do think the cover artists should be appreciated for what they have done and the beauty of this. Okay. Number 3 is, do you read a book as an author intended? Depends on the book. If it has a prologue, I don't always read it. If it has a preface, I don't always read it. I tend to read the epilogues. Sometimes I regret it, but I tend to read those. But I don't necessarily read every single page in the book. I do like reading the dedications, but even sometimes I'll skip those. I don't always read the acknowledgments. In a nonfiction book, I will sometimes read the chapters out of order if it's not like a narrative nonfiction. And with short story collections, I don't always read them in order. Because I don't feel the need to. There are some where there's like a tying together throughout, and it's best if you read it in order. But just general short story collections, I don't always read it in the order that the short story collection is in, because I skip around and read the ones I have time for. So if I only have time for a short one, I'll read the short one. And there might be a longer one, which I'll read on like a Saturday afternoon. So not really. But also, what are an author's intentions? Like, are they wanting you to get something out of a book? Because I don't go in with trying to meet the author's expectations. I go in trying to read a book and seeing what I get out of it. For as a booktuber or book blogger or anything else, do you read it differently knowing you were going to review it? Well, I don't do as many reviews as other people. My Goodreads reviews aren't as in-depth as certain individuals, so this is less, this affects me reading a book less than certain people will. Sometimes I will make notes when I read so that I can have them for when I review it later on. And I would say like the biggest thing difference is trying to write my thoughts down when I'm done with the book before I rush into a new book so I don't forget everything I would want to mention in a review. But other than that, not too much, other than I won't read certain books in a readathon because I feel like they're slower reads and I need to put more attention into them. But that's not necessarily out of the reviewing aspect, although it might have something to do with it. So, yeah. The last question is, do you venture into other genres for reviewing? No. I do not venture into another genre solely to review a book. That being said, I do try to go into other genres and dip my toes into and see if I like other things and to broaden my horizons, or particularly if I'm bored with a lot of things I'm reading, I need something new to try. But I don't go into that because I want to review books in that genre. I just tend to review the books I read. That being said, because of other people's reviews and because of Booktube as a whole and Goodreads and Bookish Twitter and Bookish Instagram, the Bookstagram, I do read books in other genres that I would naturally pick up because I'm hearing really good things and think that I might like them and want to give them a try. So I don't go into other genres for the sole focus of reviewing, but reviewing as a whole and reviews of the community have caused me to branch out and to try other genres. If you would like to do the tag and haven't been tagged, consider yourself tagged. And if you don't have a channel to do the tag on or a blog to do the tag on, you can answer the questions in the description box below. And if you have done this tag already or you do it later, please leave a comment with the link to your blog or your Instagram image in which you answer the questions or your YouTube video so that I can go check it out, because I really enjoy the questions of this particular tag. And I will see y'all later. Bye, y'all.